The House will come to order. This morning, the pledge will be said by Kaylin Caraveo and Colton Caraveo and Jacqueline Walton with the Elbert School and Legacy Academy in Elbert and Elizabeth, Colorado, family and friends of Representative Caraveo.
Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Randall, please call the roll. That's okay.
Representatives Arndt, Baisley, Beckman, Benavides, Byrd, Bockenfeld, Buck, Buckner excused, Buenteo, Caraveo, Carver, Catlin, Coleman, Cutter, Duran, Escar, Exum, Froelich, Galindo, Representative Galindo,
Oh, here. Thank you. Oh, excused.
Garnett, Geithner, Gonzalez Gutierrez, Gray, Hanson, Herod, excused, Putin, Representative Galindo is present, Representative Hooton,
Excused.
Humphrey, Jackson, excused. Oh, I have you. Representative Jackson is present. Jaquez Lewis, excused. Kennedy, Kipp, Kraft-Tharp, Landgraf, Larson, Lewis, Liston, Montine, McCluskey, McKean, McLaughlin, Melton, Michelson Janae excused, Mullica, Neville, Pelton, Ransom, Rich, Roberts, Sane,
Excused.
Sandridge, Singer,
Excused. Oh, is he here? There he is.
Sirota, Oh, thank you. Snyder, Soper, Sullivan, Tipper, Titone, Valdez A, Valdez D, Van Winkle, Weissman, Williams, Wilson. Madam Speaker.
Here. With 57 present, 7 excused, and 1 vacant, we have a quorum. Representative Froelich.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's a pleasure to serve with you.
It is a pleasure to serve with
I move the reading
you.
of the Journal of Thursday, February 21st, 2019 be dispensed with and approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. All those in favor opposed say no. Wow. Sorry, guys. I'm just not in agreement. The motion passes. Announcements and introductions. Representative,
So if we go on, what's the
okay. Representative Gonzalez Gutierrez.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It is an honor to serve with you.
It is an honor to serve with you, Representative.
Members, we have a elected official on the floor today, the Honorable Dr. Kyla Armstrong Romero, Aurora Public School Board member. And with her, she has her class from Colorado Technical University, Public Administration class. Please welcome them, members.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Representative Catlin.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Today I wanted to just remind you, if you're looking for something special to do, you might want to go to Telluride, because they are getting really a lot of snow up in the San Juan Mountains, which is the best place for you and me to store water. It's the best reservoir we've got. But anyway, if you're a skier, snowboarder, or just like to hang out, Telluride would be the best place for you to go this weekend. Thanks.
Representative Weissman.
Thank you, and good morning, Madam Speaker. Two things. I'd also like to extend my welcome to Dr. Armstrong Romero, who is on one of our school boards in Aurora. Thank you for coming down this morning. The other is, this is an announcement really for everybody. We will have a special meeting of Joint Judiciary on adjournment of both chambers this morning. The subject is to talk about our DOC capacity issue and solutions that are being developed to address that. This is an intersection of a number of things, the moral questions of what is criminal and how should it be punished, the public safety questions of what works and what doesn't to reduce recidivism, and the fiscal questions of how we pay for all of that. So it will be members of both Judiciary Committees meeting, but we really encourage other members to attend and listen in and learn in advance of future conversations. So that'll be on adjournment of both chambers in 271. Thank you.
Representative Valdez.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And with this weather changing this weekend, please drive home safely. Also, Wolf Creek Ski Area is open. Hope to see you there. Also, if you have not skied down at the Great National Sand Dunes, there's a great chance you can do it this year. Have a good day.
Representative McLaughlin.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And because we're talking about skiing, we have a ski area in Durango, right downtown. The kids can go after school there. 2 feet of snow on our in-town ski area today. So if you're interested, they're getting a new chairlift, so please come and do this. We also have Purgatory. We have more snow than ever, and we love the water. We hate flying in there, but we love the water. Come on down.
Representative Soper and Rich.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We just wanted to recognize someone very special to both of us who's on the floor, Elizabeth Fogarty. She's the head of the Grand Junction Area Tourism Office. Elizabeth, just stand up. She's the one promoting central western Colorado to not only the rest of the state, but to the rest of the world, and selling them on what we have to offer, and it's pretty good. We have wine, fresh produce, beautiful views, and yes, we even have a ski resort.
Representative Rich.
I would also like to once again thank the Grand Junction Area Chamber of Commerce members who are on the floor as well as in the gallery. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. Thank you, Chamber.
Thank you for joining us from Grand Junction. Representative Esgar.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have a tribute that I would like to be read.
The House of Representatives, convened in the 72nd General Assembly, hereby extends sincere commendations to TRIO programs. TRIO Federal Outreach and Student Services programs have been assisting low-income individuals, first-generation college students, and individuals with disabilities in furthering their education for over 40 years. TRIO includes 8 programs that provide valuable educational services to Colorado residents looking to progress through the academic pipeline from middle school to post-baccalaureate programs. It also includes a training program for directors and staff of TRIO projects. The members of the Colorado House of Representatives extend sincere commendations to TRIO programs and are proud to recognize and thank TRIO program staff for their hard work. We wish those students involved in the programs the best of luck in their future honorable endeavors. On request of Representative Danae Esgar, given this 22nd day of February 2019, State Capitol in Denver.
Representative Esgar.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and members, thanks for your attention. I know sometimes when I come down here with a tribute, you all assume it's something about Pueblo. So this is partly about Pueblo, but also I wouldn't be remiss if you all understood that there's probably constituents of your own here today. There's over 100 people here today in the gallery and even some on the floor over here who are here to celebrate what TRIO programs do. And before I came to the legislature, one of the best jobs I ever had was a academic advisor for Upward Bound, which is one of the programs through TRIO that helps high school students who are the first in their family to go to college find that pathway forward and succeed not only in graduating high school, but getting into and graduating from college as well. It was the most rewarding job I've ever had in my entire life, and I can't say enough about these amazing programs. The people who work for these programs and the students themselves who stand up and say, yes, I'm going to take that help and I'm going to succeed. So just on behalf of your entire General Assembly, thank you all for being here today. Thank you for the work you do, and best of luck at all of the successes in your life. Thank you.
Thank you, TRIO, for joining us at the Capitol today. Representative Liston.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, I too wanted just to give a shout out to the members of the Grand Junction Chamber of Commerce. For myself and my colleagues, we really enjoyed your hospitality and your dinner last night. Get to know the good people of Grand Junction, and to my colleagues for having them come over. It was a nice dinner, and you have a great group of people. And also, everyone's promoting their ski areas. So I wanted to give a shout out to the former ski area on Pikes Peak, which is no longer in existence, but that's where I learned to ski, and you can see it still, the runs on the north side of Pikes Peak if you know where to look. I believe it's in Representative Baisley's district, but anyways, a shout out to the defunct Pikes Peak ski area.
Are there any other announcements or introductions? Seeing none, the next order of business is third reading of bills, final passage. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1078.
House Bill 1078, by Representative Lewis, all Senators Marble and Garcia, concerning a requirement the consent of the owner of real property be obtained before the property may be listed on the National Register of Historic Places.
Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Special shout out to Representative Lewis. I move House Bill 1078 on third reading and final passage.
The question before us is the passage of House Bill 1078 on third reading and final passage. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please vote. Represented, please close the machine. With 60 aye votes, 4 excused, and 1 vacant, House Bill 1078 is passed. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to proceed out of order for immediate consideration of House Joint Resolution 191011.
The question before the House is to proceed out of order for the consideration of House Joint Resolution 1011. Seeing no objection, the House will proceed out of order. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Joint Resolution 1011.
House Joint Resolution 1011 by Representatives Sane and Neville, also Senator Marble, concerning honoring Gold Star families.
Representative Sane.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. I move for the adoption of HJR 1011 and request to be read at length.
Whereas, since the Revolutionary War, more than 1 million American soldiers have died in battle and military conflicts. Their families, who have endured these losses and the accompanying grief, are known as Gold Star families. And whereas, named for the practice of families hanging service banners in the windows of their homes with a star for each family member in the armed forces, deep blue stars were displayed for each living member serving, and they were replaced with gold if their loved one lost his or her life serving our country and protecting our freedom. And whereas, Grace Darling Siebold founded the American Gold Star Mothers in 1928, her son, George, was serving in World War I, and while he was abroad, she channeled her worry into visiting hospitalized veterans. When the letters from her son stopped arriving and she learned of his death, she took action in her grief and with a group of mothers established American Gold Star Mothers Incorporated. And whereas, since 1936, Gold Star Mother's Day has been honored through presidential proclamation as the last Sunday of each September. And whereas the acts of heroism and the stories of courage of each fallen soldier are forever remembered in the minds and hearts of their families. And whereas, while national monuments and memorials serve as strong visible reminders for the men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our nation, Gold Star families are a living legacy of each fallen soldier and can help us all remember and honor these heroes by name. And whereas, long after the battles have ended, as our stars and stripes of liberty fly, the families who have at home a folded flag and an empty seat at the table deserve our respect and our support. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the House of Representatives of the 72nd General Assembly of the State of Colorado, the Senate concurring herein, that we, the members of the Colorado General Assembly, honor the pride and the pain of the parents and partners and children and siblings of our fallen heroes, and recognize the families of these proud patriots with an expression of profound gratitude and respect.
Minority Leader Neville.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, please be seated. This is one that always chokes me up, members. We're absolutely privileged and honored to have many of these family members in the chamber with us. I can't imagine the pain and suffering that these families go through. And I think that it's important that we honor them. And so we have some letters that we will be reading throughout this time to actually highlight these individual soldiers that were lost while they were defending our freedom.
Representative Sane.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The men and women who gave their last breath in battle are the best of us. Their dedication to purpose and duty was more important than life itself. And their self-sacrifice not only made this nation possible, but possible to purchase freedom for another generation of Americans. And our Gold Star mothers, fathers, wives, sisters, brothers have seeded their generational dream, a future with grandchildren, great-grandchildren, nieces, and nephews, so the rest of us will not live in fear of a knock at the door. Gold Star families have endured the unimaginable so that America can endure. Our Gold Star families are the American cornerstone for our future, the bedrock of a nation, and we extend our heartfelt gratitude to you. These families are here today to honor the memory of their heroes in the General Assembly, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to read the names of their fallen heroes. And we are so grateful that you are going to trust us with your stories today.
Representative Humphrey.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Sergeant First Class Liam Jules Nevins. As the Gold Star family stand before us with proud yet heavy hearts, I want to tell you about a fallen son from Colorado who serves as a true example of our military heroes. While his mother, Victoria Nevins, shares that her son, Liam, was an outstanding athlete and artist in his youth, she truly saw the fine man he became through the stories of his brothers in arms. Army Sergeant First Class Liam Nevins from Denver enlisted prior to graduation from high school in 2000. Earning his Ranger tab at age 20, he served as a rifle team leader with the famed 82nd Airborne Division during his first deployment to Afghanistan, and completed 2 more tours as a sniper team leader in Iraq and Afghanistan. These deployments involved years of active combat on the cutting edge, dealing with some of the most dangerous elements of the insurgency. Yet during his treasured visits home, his eagerness to roughhouse with his nephews, laugh with his sisters, and party with his high school buddies belied the raw truth of his life at war. After leaving active duty in 2006, this Vermont-born, battle-worn veteran looked forward to a life of adventure, mountain climbing and snowboarding in Colorado. The military was Liam's passion. So in 2009, he re-enlisted in the Colorado Army National Guard as a member of the 5th Battalion, 19th Special Forces. In mid-August of his 4th combat mission in Afghanistan, this highly decorated Green Beret was seriously injured while drawing fire away from a group pinned down by PKM fire. With a bullet wound to his left hand and a large piece of his shoulder missing, Liam refused painkillers and climbed a ladder to the compound wall to watch his commandos during their final assault. Though he was whisked off to Bagram for treatment with a sure ticket stateside, Liam's teammates weren't surprised when he returned to his mission despite doctors' orders. Due to the healing power of hard-headedness, he was soon shooting on the range and climbing the rope in gym without using his feet. All he wanted was one more mission before heading home in October. On September 21st, 2013, there was no reason for Liam to be on the firing range helping another team train Afghani troops, other than his drive to work and help others. But Liam was there when one of the trainees turned his gun, killing Liam and his 2 comrades. One of Liam's brothers in arms wrote this for his funeral. Liam was a fearless warrior. I, along with other team members, were comforted many times in battle, knowing he was at our side. He had dedication and resilience beyond that of any normal man. He was so tough that no enemy could stop him face on. A machine gun only slowed him down. He was strong, so strong that only a coward could kill him. For his service, for his sacrifice, Liam Nevins earned the Purple Heart with 1 oak leaf cluster, the Bronze Star, and numerous other awards. Thank you.
Representative Williams.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Chief Warrant Officer 2 Joshua B. Silverman, a pilot who had served for 8 years, died during a mission in a Black Hawk UH-6 helicopter crash due to enemy fire on December 17, 2013 in Afghanistan. Five others died with him also. Josh was 35 years old. He was assigned to the 3rd Assault Helicopter Battalion, 1st Aviation Regiment, 1st Combat Aviation Brigade, 1st Infantry Division, Fort Riley, Kansas, while serving during Operation Enduring Freedom. Josh's longtime friend said Josh was well-liked and unique. Quote, he had 1,000 hobbies. He was always on the move, his friend said. He was a magician. He ate fire. He played the guitar and loved music. Josh was in the Civil Air Patrol and also in ROTC. He received a full scholarship from the University of Arizona, where he earned a degree in anthropology prior to entering the Army. Joshua is missed and remembered by many, and leaves behind his wife and parents, but he is now reunited with his beloved sister, Susan Silverman, who has preceded him.
Representative Gray.
Army Specialist Tomas Luke Avey was 34 years old when he died of heart failure brought on by prolonged complications from wounds suffered during his multiple deployments to Afghanistan. He had served for 15 years. After college, Tomas enlisted in the Oklahoma Army National Guard and then later in the Georgia Army National Guard. 2 years later, he entered Army active duty service and graduated from Ranger School. His second tour in Afghanistan was for 16 months, serving as squad leader and sniper team leader, engaging strategic targets. He was wounded in action and was awarded the Bronze Star, the Purple Heart, and the Army Commendation Medal with V device for valor. From 2008 to 2010, Tomas was a drill sergeant at the U.S. Army Infantry School at Fort Benning, Georgia. From 2010 to 2013, Tomas was assigned to the 2nd Brigade, 4th Infantry Division at Fort Carson. This service entailed a 3rd deployment to Afghanistan as a platoon sergeant. For action in close combat against the enemy, he was decorated with an oak leaf cluster for a 2nd award of the Bronze Star. From the summer of 2013 until the time of his death, Tomas was assigned to the 6th Ranger Training Battalion at Eglin Air Force Base in Florida as a Ranger instructor. Tomas loved the beach, paddleboarding in the surf, riding his Harley, and spending time with his daughter Isabel, who he loved very much. He sought God's guidance on a daily basis and had set an example for others to emulate in looking to the needs of others. He is greatly missed by his family and friends, and especially by his brothers in arms.
Representative Geithner.
In the words of his mother, oh boy, what a wonderful young man I had. Sergeant Andrew Mark Schaefer, Counsel, is my true hero. Andrew was my only child, the boy I finally got shortly after my 35th birthday. Andrew's dad, I had no clue he wanted. Andrew's dad and I had no clue he wanted to go into the military. In high school, he loved his Japanese language classes and said that he wanted to learn other languages. So when he said he wanted to go into the military, I thought that he should go into the linguist field. But no, he wanted to be an MP. As I think back, I realized he was always that little policeman. His dad and I had watched our P's and our Q's for Andrew, would have turned us in a heartbeat. Andrew started his venture in the Army about a month after his 18th birthday. He went to boot camp and AIT training at Fort Leonard Wood in Missouri. There was such a drastic change in our Andrew. Right before our eyes, there was this wonderful young man. Andrew has always been the guy who gets what he wants And his first pick of a duty station right after AIT training was Fort Carson. And he got it. It was great having him so close to Denver. We got to see him quite a bit. About 3 months after being at Fort Carson, the Punishers, as they were called, deployed to Afghanistan. Now, who would have thought that an MP would be on the front lines? I thought they guarded bases. No, they go on convoys in their big MRAP vehicles. Andrew was the gunner on the first MRAP in his caravan. He got back from that deployment, yet another different young man. He was a little broken, trying real hard to bounce back. Maybe a year later or so, he was again deployed to Afghanistan from his new duty station, Hawaii. Hawaii being so far away, it was much harder for me. I had gotten spoiled seeing him almost once a week when he was at Fort Carson. What happened to Andrew was 6 weeks before he died. He had a terrible bicycle accident while doing his physical training up here in Denver. He tumbled over his bicycle and smashed his face and nose and crushed his sinuses. His face looked awful. If it had not been for the helmet on, I think his whole head would have gone into the pavement. The woo-woo side of me believes that he died on the street because he really did look like a zombie. I believe Andrew and God decided that Mom is a wuss and she's not going to be able to handle this. There must be a different way. The reason I believe this, it took Andrew 4 weeks to convince the Army that the best place for him was up in Denver. His dad could get to him to all of his appointments. His team of doctors doing a facial reconstruction was in Denver, and he could stay at his parents' house. He was here at our home in Denver for 2 weeks. My poor Andrew was waiting so patiently for his new Brad Pitt nose when he died in his sleep. I do believe that Andrew and God timed it all just right. I am so grateful that I did not have uniforms coming to my door to tell me Andrew is gone. Carl did that. Pam Schaefer, proud mom of Sergeant Andrew Mark Schaefer Council, August 3rd, 1990 to October 12th, 2013.
Representative Hooton.
Navy Interior Communications First Class James Sampers was killed in action in South Vietnam on September 7th, 1969, during his third mission to Vietnam. James was a naval advisor to a Vietnamese river patrol group throughout 1969 and had participated in over 112 combat missions. Among other medals, James was awarded a Bronze Star with Combat 5, 2 Purple Hearts, a Military Merit Medal, and a Gallantry Cross with Palm, issued before his death. James left behind a loving family, wife Patty, and young children Stephen, James, Ronald, and Christina. Patty is with us here today and is currently serving as the president of the Denver area chapter of the Gold Star Wives.
Representative Sandridge.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Sergeant Glenn E. Martinez, U.S. Marine Corps, was killed in action on May 2nd, 2008 at the age of 31. An Ottawa University of Kansas graduate in 2000 with a BA degree in math, Glenn joined the Marine Corps in 2004 to help people keep a positive attitude about the good old U.S. of A. Glenn had lots of pride being a Marine. As his commander stated, and he embodied the core values of the Marines with honor, courage, and commitment. He was respected by all of his friends and he had a personal approach to leading Marines. Glenn was a security team leader for CLB, leading security missions in Iraq. All through his life, Glenn was a true leader, and he is now remembered by leaving a $1,000 scholarship for a senior boy and a senior girl continuing towards a higher education, college, or a trade school. The scholarship is funded by a 5K walk/run and a veteran golf tournament on Memorial Day weekend. Glenn is remembered by the Ottawa baseball team with an endurance run in his honor and with a flagpole bearing his name placed on center field. Monte Vista, Colorado placed a pavilion in a city park in his honor, and a unifying granite stone was placed in a Veterans Memorial Park in his honor. Faith Hinckley, who was killed in action on August 7, 2010 in Iraq, was also honored along with all veterans in the San Luis Valley. Our son was our hero. He loved life. He liked to help people no matter the situation, and he was respectful of his elders and all others as he was growing up. He carried himself that way throughout his short life. Glenn will be remembered by many. We are very proud of our son, and a day never goes by that we don't think of him. Sincerely yours, Ron and Carol Martinez.
Members, it's okay to be seated. Please do have a seat. Representative Roberts.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Sergeant Franklin James Sawvell was a natural leader who inspired his fellow Marines. In the words of Franklin's platoon, the Marines of MWSS 172 Communications Platoon will sincerely miss you for the leader you have been and the legacy you leave behind. We bid you, as always, fair winds, following seas, and a highly motivated Semper Fi. Here with us now and here with us forever to watch over family, friends, and Marines, present and future, Sergeant Franklin James Sawvell, Marine Wing Support Squadron 172, Marine Aircraft Group 36, Unit 37206, received his orders 21 October 2014 and has reported for duty. Franklin was 22 years old and was loved and is missed by all.
Representative Baisley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. From the wife of Chief Warrant Officer 3, Sean E. Seaburn. My husband was a courageous man who loved his home state of Colorado and was happy doing what he was born to do, serve his country. Although his parents encouraged college, Sean was headstrong to enlist at age 17 years. And after graduating from Bear Creek High School in 1983, he was off to serve 10 honorable years as a helicopter crew chief in the Marine Corps. He was always a true Marine, but when the Army Air Cavalry gave him the opportunity to transition to pilot, he could not resist. Oh, how he loved flying. He'd often say, "I can't believe they pay me to do this." As a highly skilled Kiowa reconnaissance attack helicopter pilot, Sean put his passion to work serving his country with courage and distinction for another 13 years. He was honored to fly alongside his 1-7 Cav brothers in Operation Iraqi Freedom. Then after 23 years of the highest standard of military service, CW3 Seaburn retired home to Colorado. When Sean was 8 years old, he had seen a Flight for Life helicopter land in his neighborhood in Lakewood, and all his dreams came full circle when he was able to come home and use his military skills to serve Colorado Flight for Life as their lead pilot from 2005 to 2015. It was at that time that his military service caught up with him. Sean survived the battlefield, but the battle had followed him home. The Veterans Administration acknowledged the burn pits by the flight lines in Iraq in 2004 polluted the air daily with toxic chemicals, and the die had been cast. Diagnosed with 100% service-connected ALS, Sean passed at home on December 8, 2016. Sean's legacy lives on. Countless pilots have shared their stories of the impact of his skillful example and how remembering what would Sean do has saved their lives time and again. In the days prior to his memorial at Fort Logan, the mortuary kept the doors open and the coffee going for the flight crews who maintained the 24-hour honor guard. They said it was their way of keeping him safe the way he kept them safe. To me, his wife, he is forever the one my soul loves. Thank you for honoring my cherished husband today. We do. Sean Seaburn gave his life in dedicated service to his country and his home state. He would want to express his steadfast thankfulness and unwavering devotion for his Lord Jesus, his country, and his families for supporting him as he did what he loved to do, protect and serve others. He would choose no other path. Semper Fidelis.
Representative Exum.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Army Colonel Brian D. Allgood, a medical doctor, was killed in action in Iraq in January 20th, 2007. He was 46 years old. Brian grew up as an Army brat. He, as well as his sister and brother, adjusted well to many moves. Brian was an avid reader, loved sports, and played many of them. He enjoyed outdoor games, card games, board games, and video games. He always played well to win. Brian graduated from the United States Military Academy at West Point in 1982 and graduated in the class of 1986 from Oklahoma University Medical School. He interned as general surgery at Brooke Army Medical Center from 1986 to 87. Brian served as a 3rd Ranger Battalion from 1987 to 1990, with the 82nd Airborne from 1994 to 1996, and completed his residency in orthopedic surgery at Brooke Army Medical Center from 1990 to 1994. He was a board-certified orthopedic surgeon. The Brian Allgood Ambulatory Clinic at the U.S. Army Academy was dedicated in October 2015. Brian was serving as a multinational forces Iraq surgeon at the time of his death. Before being assigned to Iraq, he was the commander of the 18th Medical Command and the 121st Hospital in Korea. The 121st Hospital was renamed Brian Allgood Army Community Hospital in 2008. Brian's philosophy on life: stay focused on and never forget what is important to you, religious beliefs, family, and others, and act accordingly. He is survived by his wife, Jane, their son, Wyatt, parents, Jerry and Khalil, sister, Becky Houston, brother, Bradley, 2 nieces, and 3 nephews.
Representative Lewis.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Army Specialist Connor Pollock was born on May 27th of 1993, and some of his family are here today, and we are honored. As a little boy, his favorite thing to do was pretend he was an Army man. When he grew up and joined the Army, he laughed and said, "The real world Army is not the same as the one I was in when I was a little kid." Connor always went above and beyond in everything he did, and often even pushed beyond what he thought was doing his best. He cared about everybody more than himself and would extend a hand of friendship to anyone in need. Connor also loved computers and video games. He made many good friends through his gaming, some of them being fellow soldiers. He believed family was everything and that family didn't have to mean shared DNA. He told me that being in the Army had given him an even bigger family. Connor also had the most delightful sense of humor. He loved to joke around and be mischievous. His smile and laughter were a ray of sunshine to everyone who knew him. Many of his friends who reached out after his death have told me how much they miss his humor, his smile, and his laugh.
Representatives Melton and Arndt.
This is a letter from the mom of Scotty Springfield Dome. On October 21st, 2011, my firstborn, Army Ranger Sergeant First Class Christopher Dome, was killed on his 14th deployment, a deployment he had not been slated to go on. He was the Army's first qualified GTAK evaluator, and because of that skill set, He was deployed to replace a ranger who broke his leg.
Christopher is the most deployed soldier in American history to be killed in action. He joined the Army before 9/11 at 18 years of age and never expected our country to go to war. During his short 29 years of life, he served more than 4.5 years fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan, 14 deployments. In the words of his mother, Scotty Springfield Tomei, Gold Star Mom.
Representative Soper.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. In preface, I just want to say Colorado will never forget our Gold Star families. Army Staff Sergeant Justin Vasquez. Justin was born on January 26, 1979, to parents Tino and Vicky Vasquez in Rocky Ford, Colorado. He grew up in Manzanola, Colorado, where he graduated in May of 1997. Shortly after graduation, he went into the Army in August 1997, where his basic training took him to Fort Knox, Kentucky. Justin was a Cavalry Scout and loved every minute of his training. He received the top Cavalry Scout Award and other honors for his physical abilities and intellect. His next assignment was Fort Polk, Louisiana, where he received more training in his chosen field and honors. In 2001, he was assigned with the 3rd Armored Cavalry stationed in Fort Carson, Colorado. He served his first tour in Iraq in 2003 to 2004, then returned to Iraq in March 2005, where he was a Bradley commander. My son was killed in action on June 5th, 2005, while serving his country by an IED. He was killed with a second explosion while coming to the aid of his captain and lieutenant who had been hit by the first IED. He received many honors and medals while in the Army. He received the Bronze Star. He loved his family and his country. He left a son, Justin David, behind and many other family members who miss him greatly. I will always be extremely proud of my son, Tino J. Vasquez. Proud dad.
Representative Valdez.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Army Chief Warrant Officer 3, Scott Allen Murr Oswell, was a patriot, a true American hero who paid the ultimate price for his country. He was just shy of his 34th birthday when he was killed in Mosul, Iraq. On July 4th, 2007, during his second tour as a Kiowa Warrior helicopter pilot, Scott was a wonderful son, a loving husband, and a fantastic father to his 3 children. A lot can be said of his military accomplishments, but it was the content of his character that made him the man he was. Everyone who knew Scott liked him, and everyone who knew him misses him. He had a great sense of humor, and he loved flying. We were privileged to have him, known him for his 33 years, and he is always in our thoughts and hearts. We love him and miss him. Never forget and always remember.
Minority Leader Neville.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Navy SEAL Danny Philip Dietz, Jr. from Littleton, Colorado, was born January 26, 1980, and was killed in action on January 28, 2005. Danny was part of a 4-man reconnaissance team stationed in Kunar Province, Afghanistan, conducting Operation Red Wing. When he and his teammates were ambushed, killing all but one.
Representative Ransom.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Sergeant Charles L. Osgood was killed on August 18, 2007 in a training accident. Sergeant Osgood's mother writes, "John and I had just gotten home around midnight from Central City Opera. There were 2 messages on our phone from our daughter-in-law asking us to call her. When I did, she informed me that our son Charlie was missing and there was a search going on for him, 2 more Marines and a sailor. They were in a search and rescue orange and white Huey helicopter on a training run and had been missing since about 4 p.m. when they should have been back at the base at MCAS Yuma Air Station.
After a night of absolutely no sleep, talking to God and each other, we got up the next morning and a friend came over to wait for news with us. John went out to mow the lawn and I took a bath. As I was walking out of the bathroom, our friend said, "The Marines are here." The Yuma search and rescue helicopter had gone down 20 miles north of Yuma, just over the California line in the desert wilderness. All 4 of the crew were dead, and there happened to be 1 extra air crew personnel on board who was still alive. A few days before, Captain Walters, one of the pilots, and Charlie were trying to get Kenny, a Marine at the base, interested in knowing Jesus. They talked to Kenny, probably for many months, about him, and kept getting blocked by Kenny's resistance. Finally, Captain Walters asked him, "What would it take for you to get to believe in Jesus Christ?" His answer, "If I saw Jesus Christ come and personally protect me from harm." Kenny was supposed to be on the helicopter that afternoon, but he had some personal problems to attend to. And since Charlie was already at the base, our Charlie stepped into his position on that aircraft. Kenny got the message. We miss our son every day, and we have learned to cope, but the sadness never goes away. Our pastor said in one of his sermons that some of the sadness and depression doesn't go away until we get to heaven. One of the things that makes it bearable is that I know where Charlie is. Of that, I have no doubt.
Representative Sane and Minority Leader Neville.
Members, before we make the motion, I'd like to introduce some very special guests in the audience today. Will you please stand when I call the name of your hero? Sergeant Andrew Mark Schaefer, Persia Gulf Army. Gold Star Mother Pam Schaefer. Thomas Avey, First Class Army, Afghanistan. Gold Star Mother Pam Semple. Chief Petty Officer James Sampers, Navy, Vietnam. Gold Star wife, Patty Sampers. Sergeant First Class Howard Lee Early, Vietnam, 1969 Army. Gold Star wife, Jeanette Early. Chief Warrant Officer Joshua Benjamin Silverman, Army helicopter pilot, Afghanistan. Gold Star mother, Sue Silverman. Sergeant First Class Liam Nevins, Army Green Beret, Afghanistan. Gold Star mother, Victoria Nevins. Chief Warrant Officer Sean Seaburn, Army plus Marine Corps, Iraq. Gold Star husband or wife, Margaret Seaburn. Specialist Connor Pollock, Army, Persia Gulf. Gold Star mother, Evelyn Pollock Rust. Gold Star sister, Shannon Pollock. Gold Star stepfather, Kelly Rust. Are there any other Gold Star families here today? Members, after the roll call, I would request a recess so that we can greet our guests.
Minority Leader Neville.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just can't thank you guys enough for being here, and it's because you live with this sacrifice every day, but because of that sacrifice, we get to do what we do here, where we can freely debate issues and policies in a free country, in a free America, and it's because of your sacrifices. And so I can't thank you enough for being here, and I urge a yes vote on this resolution.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before us is the adoption of House Joint Resolution 1011. Is there any objection to taking a voice vote? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say no. House Joint Resolution 1011 is adopted. Representative Sane.
Madam Speaker, members, I move that the current roll call of the House be added as co-sponsors.
Seeing no objection, the current roll call will be added as co-sponsors. Representative Sane.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I ask for a brief recess so that we can greet our guests.
A brief recess is granted. The House will come back to order. Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move the following bills be made special orders at 10:12 on Friday, February 26th.
Majority Leader Garnett, I think we need to read reports from appropriations before. Okay, I'm sorry. So reports of committees of reference.
Committee on Appropriations. After considering the merits of the committee as following, House Bill 1025 be amended as follows, and as submitted be referred to the committee of the whole favorable recommendation. House Bill 1031 be amended as follows, and as submitted be referred to the committee of the whole favorable recommendation. House Bill 1038 be amended as follows, and as submitted be referred to the committee of the whole favorable recommendation. House Bill 1061 be postponed indefinitely. House Bill 1069 be amended as follows, and as submitted be referred to the committee of the whole favorable recommendation. House Bill 1080 be referred to the committee of the whole favorable recommendation. House Bill 1153 be referred to the committee of the whole favorable recommendation. Senate Bill 43 be amended as follows, and as submitted be referred to the committee of the whole favorable recommendation.
No, Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And members, we're going to do a very quick and easy special orders calendar today. Thanks for everyone's hard work all week. I move the following bills be made special orders at 10:15 on Friday, February 22nd. House Bill 1031, House Bill 1038, House Bill 1080, House Bill 1173, and House Bill 1052. And there's a list up here, members, if you would like to take a look at it.
Seeing no objection, those bills will be made part of a special orders calendar today at 10:15. Representative Esgar. You have heard the motion. If there's no objection, Representative Esgar will take the chair.
No, thank you. The committee will come to order. With your unanimous consent, the bills will be read by title unless there's a request for reading a bill at length. Committee amendments will not be read unless requested, as they are printed and in your bill folders. Floor amendments will be shown on the screen and on your iPads and not read unless requested. Bills will be laid over upon motion of the majority leader, and the Colt rule is relaxed. Happy Friday. Mr. Randall, please read the title to House Bill 1031.
House Bill 1031 by Representative Gray concerning allowing each parental guardian to serve as a minor medical marijuana patient's primary caregiver.
Representative Gray.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will move House Bill 1031 and the Appropriations Committee report.
To the Appropriations Committee report.
The Appropriations Committee was kind enough to appropriate funds for this purpose, for the purpose of this bill that I'll talk about in a moment, from cash funds relating to administering the medical marijuana program. I'd ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion on the Appropriations Committee report? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of the Appropriations Committee report. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no?
No.
The ayes have it. To the bill, Representative Gray.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, House Bill 1031 is a bill that was brought to me by a family in my district, the Serrato family, who came and testified in committee, and their son, Ethan. Ethan has a very medically complicated life. I've actually spoken about him in this well many times before. But one of the challenges that they faced is he has a great number of medical conditions, some of which they treat with THC and with marijuana products. And it's part of a very difficult lifestyle they have. He was actually in and out of the hospital 18 times in the previous year. One of the difficulties that's created for them is that if you're a parent who uses THC to treat your children, right now both parents can't actually legally act as caregivers and to purchase, transport, or provide that medication to a child. So you have to choose one parent or another at any given time, because each person can only have one caregiver. The situation they would run into is they never actually know exactly when or with which parent Ethan would be with when he needed to become hospitalized, primarily at Children's Hospital. And they would run into a situation where the caregiver parent, who would need to be the one to get the medication for Ethan, was also stuck in the hospital with Ethan. And when they presented this to me, we've actually seen a few other areas where a lot of families right now are struggling with the idea of both parents not being able to provide the medication to their children. That also is a real challenge in families of divorce, where there will be times where there'll be split parenting time, but only times where the parent who has custody at that moment can't administer medicine, and the other parent has to figure out how to do that even during shared custody time. So in just about every area of law I know of in the state, we allow both parents to operate and to take care of their children on an equal basis. And so I would ask for your approval of this bill. I do have one minor amendment that I'll hand over. Madam Chair, when it's available, I move L001 and ask that it be displayed.
Amendment L001 has been moved and is properly displayed. Please explain, Representative Gray.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Once this bill was filed, the Department of Public Health came to me and said, as they were looking at it, they'd also like to address an issue they had seen in a few places, where a foster child who's technically under the jurisdiction of a court might need this type of medication. And so right now there's difficulty in figuring out who their caregiver would be. It designates that the judge, who has authority over all the other aspects of that young person's life, could also make this determination as well. I'd ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion on Amendment L001? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of Amendment L001. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The amendment passes. To the bill, Representative Gray.
That is all I have, members. I'd ask for your support. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1031? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of House Bill 1031 as amended. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. House Bill 1031 passes. Mr. Randall. Please read the title of House Bill 1038.
House Bill 1038 by Representatives Duran and Lantina, Senators Janal and Story, concerning dental services for pregnant women covered under the Children's Basic Health Plan.
Representative Lontine.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move House Bill 1038 and the Appropriations and Public Health Committee reports.
To the Appropriations Report, Representative Lontine.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Appropriations Committee appropriated money for us to be able to pay to cover women, pregnant women who are on the CHIP plan for dental benefits, and I ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion on the Appropriations Committee report? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of the Appropriations Committee report. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That report passes. To the Public Health Care and Human Services report, Representative Lontine.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Public Health Committee report, we simply changed a date for this to start from July 1st, 2019 to October 1st, 2019, and I ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion on the Public Health Committee report? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of the committee report. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That committee report passes. To the bill, Representative Duran.
Thank you. This bill expands dental services provided under the Children's Health Plan Plus to pregnant women, and I ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1038? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of House Bill 1038 as amended. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. House Bill 1038 passes.
Thank you.
Mr. Randall, please read the title to House Bill 1080.
House Bill 1080 by Representative Bockenfeld concerning benefits for first responders with a disability.
Representative Bockenfeld.
Thank you very much.
Bockenfeld.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairman. It's an honor to serve with you. I would like to move the committee reports. Okay, I'd like to move House Bill 1080 and the committee reports from Rural Affairs and Agriculture and Appropriations. There was an amendment.
Representative Bockenfeld, let's start with what happened in the Appropriations Committee. No amendment. Okay, we just need to go to the Rural Affairs Committee report, please.
Rural Affairs, there was one amendment. It was L-001. If I could ask for it to be displayed. No? Just need to describe it.
Please
okay?
explain what happened in the committee.
In that committee report, we better define the purpose of this bill was for folks who were permanently disabled. And they were permanently disabled while performing their occupational duties as a first responder. That was the main gist of the amendment.
Is there any further discussion on the committee report? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of the Rural Affairs Committee report. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. That committee report passes. To the bill, Representative Bockenfeld.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Chairman. House Bill 1080, what it does is this is a bill that was brought to me by a constituent request bill. It involves first responders who are permanently, occupationally disabled while performing their duties as a police officer or a firefighter. What we're asking is for the state benefits that we give to permanently disabled Army veterans who come back from war, extend those same benefits to the permanently disabled first responders who are defending us on a daily basis on our streets. And so I would ask for an aye vote, and the fiscal note is very small on this particular bill, and I believe it's a good bill, and we should all support it, so I ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1080? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of House Bill 1080 as amended. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. House Bill 1080 passes. Mr. Randall, please read the title to House Bill 1173.
House Bill 1173 by Representatives Garnett and Neville, all Senators Vinberg and Holberg, concerning the authority of an ex officio member of the Legislative Council to appoint a temporary replacement of that ex officio member at a meeting of the Legislative Council.
Mr. Minority Leader Neville.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, I know this is a very rare sighting to have a Representative Neville bill on second reading, but
would you like to move that for this momentous occasion?
Yes. I move House Bill 1173, and there is no committee report.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1173? Minority Leader Neville.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, this bill basically allows us to appoint someone else in our place on Ledge Council. The Committee on Ledge Council by statute actually requires the top 3 leaders to be on that committee, but if one of us is out of town, we can't legally replace ourselves. So this allows us to legally replace ourselves. And I think the reason that the Speaker and the Majority Leader were getting really excited about this bill was they're hoping that I will replace myself so they don't have to spend too much time with me. So I urge a yes vote.
Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It is an honor to serve with you.
And it's an honor to serve with you.
I just want to say that I'm excited to be here with Minority Leader Neville. This bill is very straightforward, and I would urge an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1173? Really? You all are going to let them get off that easily? Representative Sane.
I object.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the passage of House Bill 1173. All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Pretty sure the ayes have it. There it is. Mr. Mando, please read the title to House Bill 1052.
House Bill 1052 by Representatives McCluskey and Rich concerning the creation of special districts to provide early childhood development services.
Representative McCluskey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move House Bill 1052 and the Transportation and Local Government Committee report.
To the Transportation Committee report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The committee adopted 2 different amendments to help clean up some of our language around sales and use tax, as well as affirming the date when any taxes would be levied, either January or July 1st.
Is there any further discussion on the Transportation Committee report? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of the Transportation Committee report. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Transportation Committee report passes. To the bill, Representative McCluskey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 1052 is a commitment to our youngest learners, our youngest children in the state. We know that investments in early childhood care and learning pay dividends in the long run when so many of our families struggle by finding affordable health care and child care, and also being able to find slots in local preschools and schools for their children. We know that local communities are struggling to come together and find solutions that will make a difference for their working families. Demand exceeds capacity. In June 2016, licensed capacity in Colorado's family child care homes, preschools, stood at 151,000. It's only 60% of the estimated 244,000 young children in Colorado who need child care while their parents work. When it comes to learning and early literacy, results from Colorado's school readiness assessment show that only 49% of Colorado's kindergarteners meet all 6 domains of school readiness around physical well-being, social emotional learning, language and comprehension development, cognition, knowledge of math and literacy. Our Education Leadership Council in this state has identified early child education as a priority, and students entering school ready to learn are far more likely to be reading on grade level by 3rd grade, more likely to go on and succeed academically in school and graduate, and more likely to lead productive careers in our workforce. We know if anything is going to work in Colorado, it has got to come from that grassroots local effort. What works for improving access in early childhood care and learning in one part of our state doesn't necessarily work in another. That's why House Bill 1052 and the creation of special districts for early childhood developmental services is so critically important. It empowers local leaders to work across municipal and county boundaries to create relevant, effective early childhood programs and services to meet family and community needs. And it builds on a proven concept and model of special districts to tackle local challenges. Special districts under Title 32 currently contain the legal framework for our effort. Currently, those special districts include ambulance, healthcare, mental health care, water, sanitation, parks and recs. We would simply be adding early childhood developmental services as one more option for communities in addressing their early childhood care and learning needs. House Bill 1052 would add early childhood developmental services on this list, and they would still be, our communities would still be required to go through the legal formation and governance process in their communities. It's very important to note that House Bill 1052 does not require the creation of an early childhood developmental services special district, nor does it raise taxes on our communities. Please join me in helping our local communities address their challenges with early childhood care and learning. I urge an aye vote on House Bill 1052. Thank you.
Representative Rich. And members, it's just getting a little bit louder in here. Kind of mind your conversations. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Representative Rich.
I rise in support of House Bill 191052. I know there's been a lot of conversation in here, and if you're not aware, this is a local community option. It is not required if they don't want to form a special district, but it does give local communities the option to do that. And I don't need to repeat everything that Representative McCluskey said, but I do urge an aye vote on House Bill 191052.
Representative Lewis.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning. I wanted to rise in opposition to the bill. In the committee, there were 3 of us that voted no. I kind of got the short straw back there to get back up here and explain why. Even though it doesn't mandatorily make a special district, it could. And for those of us that know about special districts, there are 99 different types of special districts in Colorado, and we're gaining more all the time. There are thousands of them, but different types of special districts. And in this bill sets the stage for that taxing district. And as you know me, I'm always voting against new taxes. New taxing districts have a little history on that. I do believe that the power should go back to the people in the vote, but you also have to think about how these districts could be set up. And I'm going to give you just a little short history. In 2015, we fought a metro special district in Bend County. And people think, well, that should just be the vote of the people. But the way they set the district up was they went around the conservative vote, and they were only going to go in for the acres, and the town of Los Animas, 750,000 acres, going to tax the agriculture people for the rec league, going to tax the agriculture people for historic development. So we raised opposition in Bent County in 2015. They reduced the size to 450,000 acres. Excuse me, 450,000 acres. And we finally had to go to court to stop the ballot because, as I said, a lot of times it has to do with how the perimeter is set up for the vote of the people. I do agree it belongs to the people, and going to the people for the vote is great, but let's make that fair for all. Let's make a fair playing field for all. So we fought that in 2015. I learned a short course in a hurry about special districts. And in 2016, when I became a state representative, it was my first bill to not be able to go tax agricultural land for rec leagues and other types of things like that. And 1065 passed, passed through the governor, signed it. So in this bill, they're correct. Your sponsors are saying it doesn't have to be a special district. It could be taking it to the vote of the people. That's correct, and I agree with that. I just am concerned about any new taxing district. This is a step towards taxation, and that's why I'm urging a no vote. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1052? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of House Bill 1052. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. House Bill 1052 passes. Mr. Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
You have heard the motion. Seeing no objection, the committee will rise and report.
The House will come back to order. Mr. Randall, please read the report of the Committee of the Whole.
Madam Speaker, your committee whole begs leave report as under consideration the following attached bills being the segment there argument recommendations thereon. House Bill 1031 is amended, House Bill 1038 is amended, House Bill 1052 is amended, House Bill 1080 is amended, House Bill 1173 passes second reading, gross place counter, third reading, final passage.
Representative Esgar. There are no amendments at the desk. Woo! If there's no further discussion, the question before the House is the adoption of the Committee of the Whole report. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please vote. Great. Snyder, Wilson. Please close the machine with 59 aye votes, 1 no vote, 4 excused, and 1 vacant. The report of the Committee of the Whole is adopted. Announcements and introductions. Representative McKean.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Folks, I actually was going to do this, but things got rolling right along with our Gold Star families, who I want to thank again for being here. There is one somewhat remarkable letter that I think we all ought to hear, and I talked to some of us, and I was a little shocked that many of us have never read this letter. This letter is from Abraham Lincoln. written on his desk on November 21st, 1864. And it was a letter written to a Gold Star mom. There are things we all hear, there are things that we all consider in our lives that kind of set us at a moment. And this is one of the most profound things I've ever read in my life. Dear Madam, I have been shown in the files of the War Department a statement of the Adjutant General of Massachusetts that you are the mother of 5 sons who have died gloriously on the field of battle. I feel how weak and fruitless must be any word of mine which should attempt to beguile you from a grief of a loss so overwhelming. But I cannot refrain from tendering you the consolation that may be found in the thanks of the republic they died to save. I pray that our Heavenly Father may assuage the anguish of your bereavement and leave you only the cherished memory of the loved and lost, and the solemn pride that must be yours to have laid so costly a sacrifice upon the altar of freedom. Yours very sincerely and respectfully, Abraham Lincoln.
Representative Singh.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, just a quick announcement on your desk. You will find a flyer. It's an invitation to us for a 20th Annual Veterans Memorial Day tribute. It is probably one of the most beautiful Memorial Day tributes I've ever seen across the state. And you'll meet a lot, you will meet more of our Gold Star families there as well. So just a reminder, it's Saturday, May 25th at the POF Sherman Hall. It's just south of the Capitol. And it starts at 10 a.m. Thank you.
Representative Singer.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. To change direction a little bit, for those of you who are members of Public Health Care and Human Services, we'll be meeting 10 minutes after we are adjourned from the floor today. So I will look forward to seeing all of you in about 10 minutes. We've got 3 bills up and look forward to seeing all of you there with all our excellent testifiers.
Representative Voisman.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, reminder, Joint Judiciary will be getting going soon as we adjourn here. The Senate has already concluded its business, and some of our witnesses and presenters are already assembled and ready to go. Please join us over in 271. Again, I invite members who are not members of Judiciary to come and be part of the discussion as well. Thank you.
Representative Sirota.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, I just wanted to offer a warm welcome to 3 of our 3rd grade classrooms from Holm Elementary in Southeast Denver to the Capitol today. And one of the students happens to be Christine's niece, Kalijah Moore. So if you see them around, offer them a warm welcome. Thank you.
Representative Esgar.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. She just had to sneak out, but I wanted to just give a welcome to former Representative Buffy McFadden, who joined us on the floor earlier. But also, you all know how important your aides are to you and the work you do. Her former aide is still here with us, Pam DeFatta from Pueblo. Thank you for being here.
Representative Landgraf. No? Are there any other announcements and introductions? Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the House stand in recess until later today. Members, have a great weekend.
Seeing no objection, the House will be in recess till later today.